Taco, 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 taco tribe. Come see what Taco Tribe can do.
Yo, what's up, CJ? How are you, man? Just gonna give it a few minutes for people to start joining in, and we'll start getting ready.
All right. How you doing?
Good. How are you today, man?
Yeah, just grinding at work, man. My job is so hard to explain to most people, but it just keeps me busy.
Yep, I feel you.
Yeah, I was really hoping
I just
to
got
get in here today. I wanted to at least listen while I could, even though I'm out here grinding. But I got my ear pods in, and I definitely go on mute here because it gets loud at my job, so it's hard for me sometimes to speak in certain situations.
worst comes to worst. I'm actually gonna be recording the space today, so
Awesome. I see that.
so if you have to jump off or anything like that, you'll be able to jump back and listen later.
Sweet. That's
Yeah.
good.
How was work, though?
It's good. You know, day after Halloween. What can I say? Little candy hangover, right?
Feel you on that. Yeah, I ate a bunch of candy at work today.
Well, I'm stoked. I bid on this skull taco here for Halloween.
See you rocking him as your PFP, man.
Yeah, well, I jumped in there. You know, I was on OpenSea yesterday. I was like, let me see where we're at with these, right? Because there's 4 of them. You have a Frankenstein, zombie taco, I don't know, dead man taco, and skull taco. I was like, I had my eye on the skull taco since you made it an emoji in our Discord, right? I loved it, and I saw it was like the bid was like low, and I'm like, I gotta put a bid on this. And I woke up and I had the email. I was stoked.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna let you do it.
Yep, it's a pretty nice haul.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I love this guy.
Definitely a nice little taco. Yeah, I was like, as soon as I saw the emote for the skull, I was like, that needs to be one.
Yo, of all those emojis you made, which by the way are all wonderful, that skull guy just stood out. You know, it was like, look
yeah, I got him as my background on my computer and on my phone.
Well, now I got him as my profile pic out here, grinding that Taco Tribe.
All right, who's jumping up here? We got Nico in here. We got Berlin, Solo, Meta, Sir Goat. How are you, sir? Cynthia. It's gonna be a crazy space today. I'm expecting HashBastards to jump on in. He's been doing a lot of investigative work, I guess I'll say, over the past 2 days. It's been pretty entertaining, so I asked him to come, see if he wanted to kind of explain what's going on and give a little insight. But it should be pretty entertaining. I'm pretty excited. How are you, Nico? What's up, Berlin? How are you feeling, Berlin?
I'm good. I'm just waking up from a nap. So give me a minute.
Oh, I got you. A little groggy.
A little bit.
We announced the winners of the art contest today for the doodles. I think a month is too long to vote. So I think from now on for the art contest, I'll do probably about a week or so. But we got 5 winners, and I did an honorable mention. So we had 6 total winners. I gave well, they all haven't sent me their wallets yet, but I gave 2 out so far, and just waiting on some wallets. What's up, Nico?
How you doing, everybody?
Hello, sir. How's your day?
It's good. Here it's 10 o'clock in the evening. So
Kind of late.
The day is pretty much over.
Oh, man, that sucks. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries, man. It's fine. I had like 7, 8 coffees today.
Good.
I was so excited for the day. Yeah.
You have 7 to 8 coffees a day? That's crazy.
Well, I'm
Your
Greek.
poor heart.
That's what we do.
He's got to make sure that he's up and ready.
I would have a heart attack, but I had too much caffeine.
So I wanted to say, let me check my notes here. We have Happy Halloween for everyone that still is backwards. Happy Taco Tuesday. Happy not
No, not
November.
November. No shave
And
November.
happy No Shave November to everyone.
I'm shaving today. Okay, I missed it, but I'm shaving today, and then I promise that I might not shave the whole month.
You just
What-
got to grow
what i-
like a good mustache. It's Movember.
Movember. No,
But
mine's looking like shit right now.
what is it there to shave though?
There's something.
There is some shade, Taco.
There's something there. Don't make me feel like
Picture or never happened.
Nah, I got some scruff. I got like my 5 o'clock shadow's like a 2-week shadow, so it takes a while, but it's about time right now.
When I was growing up, my brothers used to like take Just for Men and like dye their like little peach fuzz on their upper lip, trying to make it look like they had more hair.
Oh man, I feel them, because I kind of probably should do that. I need to get that thing. I don't know. I've seen like the ads where you like roll shit on your face, and it helps you grow in patchy areas. I need to test all the methods, because I am slacking in the beard department.
Me too.
So what do we have for today?
All right. So today we have a couple things. So I think the main attraction is if HashBastards jumps on in. So recently, and I basically discovered all of this last night, but there was a collection that dropped called Art Gobblers. It is by Justin Roiland, who is the creator of Rick and Morty. It's a collaboration between him and not a company. It's an investment firm. Paradigm. Yeah, I'm assuming that's how you say it.
Paradigm.
Okay, thank you.
It's a Greek word. Don't try to.
Okay, good.
Anyways.
Okay, thank you. So basically, the whole situation is, I found out about the collection yesterday, but apparently a bunch of big influencers have been doing, and I believe it was a free mint if you got on the whitelist. And they dropped a bunch of them yesterday to, I guess, the influencers that were promoting it. I guess they had talked to a bunch of influencers, and apparently a bunch of influencers have been promoting it for the last month or so. And as soon as they got them, they started listing them for like 12 ETH or something like that. And just kind of like dumping them all onto people before. And obviously, you don't buy unless you kind of actually want it, but dumping it onto people without the reveal yet. And there's a whole situation going on between Farokh. Is that how you pronounce it? It was like the guy who runs Rug Radio.
Farokh.
Yeah. So HashBastards will be able to explain it a lot more, but basically HashBastards believes there's some like insider trading or something going on. Because Farokh's name on Twitter, which apparently it came out that it was a meme, was that he was an OpenSea intern, and the consensus is that he knew that it was gonna be dropping. Also, like his collection apparently is trending, and HashBastards was thinking it was a conflict of interest. Now, apparently, Farokh or whatever came out today and actually took out the section in his Twitter profile that was apparently a meme that says he was an OpenSea intern. So he took that out today, mainly because of what HashBastards was saying with all the stuff. And apparently he was saying he actually was never an intern, and it was a meme and stuff like that. But it's pretty interesting. If you guys go to HashBastards, he's tweeted a lot about it in the past few days, and he got like, you know, a bunch of people were like memeing him and memeing Farokh and the art Gobblers and stuff like that, and people were just basically saying like, oh, the rich get richer, and that's basically it, because they promoted it a little bit and made like 12 ETH selling. They all probably came together and decided to sell it for 12 ETH or something like that. You know, make the floor 12 ETH. So, so how are you, friends?
I'm fucking great, dude. I meant to do some rare ass tacos today. I'm living it up.
Yeah, man, you got the first Choco Taco, man. That's fucking sick.
Fuck, dude. It was so crazy because I was talking to Cruz, I think this was this morning, and I was like, he was talking about how he had minted some, I don't know, a day or two ago. And just basically like, you know, I got these like, they're sweet, but they're not rare. And like, I just seen a bunch of rare ones get minted. And I was like, yeah, I never know like when to mint, but I kind of try to follow like what's been happening recently. Cause if there hasn't been like a really cool one in a bit, like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go mint a few and see if maybe there's a fancy one sprinkled in there. Yeah. I nailed it with that this morning.
Yeah, you definitely nailed it with that one, man. That was an awesome pull.
I was shocked I didn't have to fight for the Halloween ones. Those are way too easy to get.
I was shocked too.
I thought I'd get one, and I got both. I was like,
yeah,
damn.
you got two. I know that Ink Mink got the nurse one.
Yes, she did.
And then CJ down here. Oh, did he bounce? He got the skull one.
Yeah, they're all sweet.
Yeah, they're all really cool. We have a total of 7 now. We've released 3 of them. Halloween 2021, and I think we're gonna continue to do it. I got a couple ideas for 2 tacos for Christmas. I'm up for more ideas. Currently, right now we have for 2021 we released Santa. We did a taco covered in lights. We have a reindeer, and we have an elf. And
I have the elf. Wait,
you do?
I think so. I can't even remember now, man. It's too hard to keep this shit in order sometimes. 1 second.
But I'm thinking, I mean, should I say what I'm thinking? I
Yeah,
guess
say it.
tease it. I want to do the Grinch.
Hell yeah.
And I was thinking maybe the Grinch's dog, but I don't know for sure. I know definitely the Grinch, but if anybody has any ideas for...
You need one that's wrapped up like a present.
That's wrapped in a gift?
Yeah, like as if you took the taco and just flat wrapped that and gift wrap. You know what I mean?
Like he's
so
like he's gift wrapped, but like the taco shape?
Yeah. So like not a box,
be...
just that you like wrapped him in paper and put a bow on him. You know what I mean?
Oh, that would be okay. That's a good one.
Like the shitty gift, you're like, oh, that's definitely I already know what that is.
Yeah.
There's no mystery about it.
Yeah, that's a good one. We could definitely do that.
That could be cool.
I am also thinking that I'm going to be doing so Black Friday's coming up. I probably should do like a turkey one.
We definitely need some Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we can do a turkey one.
You know what you need? You need a turkey one, and then you need one that instead of fucking normal taco shit, it's full of Thanksgiving leftovers. The leftover taco.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna write this down. Thanksgiving stuffing taco.
I think Berlin was raising hand. Come on,
Hello, Berlin.
I know. I was gonna say I wanted to keep discussing about the art Gobblers because I feel like we're on a roll there, and I want to hear other people's opinions. I was listening to like Wob and Pons and a bunch of other influential podcasts speaking about it today, and yeah, there's definitely various opinions.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on. with that. I don't have a lot of information. That's why I was trying to get the HashBastards.
Yeah.
He said he would be jumping in. But
I'd love to hear also Dave's opinion on the matter.
Yeah.
It's heavy. Influencers have been pumping and dumping for as long as we've been in this space, right? With tokens and NFT projects. And I think a lot of people maybe turned a blind eye to it for a long time. But with all of the analytics that have been made on chain, I can't remember the exact name of the people that put it out. It means that we can all go and explore this a lot easier. Very often we've had to kind of wait for, audit companies to go and do these investigations. And then we find out, where all the wallets were in regards to what happened with Luna Terra. And there's some horrific stories on that if you want to go and see where money was moved to, how the token price, the USDT price was influenced and manipulated by different people and institutions. There is a lot of information out there. So I don't think it's good that it's coming to the fore. I think it's good that people have got exposure to it. I think it's sad that maybe too many people have been a bit naive to this is the potential and the possibility. And yeah, in terms of what the outcomes are, what does it mean? It just means that the SEC, the FCA, the EU regulatory boards are going to come down even harder in terms of, wanting to have regulatory control over the market.
Yeah, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of people going down for manipulating the prices of things and insider trading, just having information, just like the stock market, having prior information than the masses do. And they're kind of like you've been saying, they've been getting away with it for a while, and it's all on the blockchain. So you can't hide that. If you guys are very interested in stuff like that, there's a YouTuber who does a lot of investigation work. He's pivoted a lot towards the crypto space and the NFT space, considering it's been happening a lot in there. And his name is CoffeeZilla. He does really in-depth investigations on things like that. He did one on Luna. He's done one on what's that one that starts with a C that died? What's up, Dave?
I just wanted to say, we're talking OpenSea, right? Nate Chastain has been charged by the SEC for insider trading. Go and have a look at what Nate Chastain did last October as head of products for OpenSea. And then Frosty's NFT. If you were here last year, you probably heard about Frosty's NFT. Both their founders are currently undercharged by the SEC for insider trading, for buying off of their own floor and inflating the price with no end product. So again, this isn't this isn't a new thing, and the people that are doing this are going to get found out eventually.
Yeah, and that guy Nate, he was actually working for OpenSea, and wasn't he the person that was putting the collections on the front page or something like that? He knew what collections were going to be coming up on the front page. He would buy a bunch of them before they dropped on the front page, and then the day they dropped on the front page, he would list for a lot higher and make a big profit. I actually just heard from HashBastards. He says he's going to be about 5 minutes, and he's going to jump in, and we can definitely get more into this whole situation that's going on with Farokh and the art Gobblers. But there's a lot of messed up stuff going on. What's up, Nudie?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, no, just building off what Dave said. I mean, and what has been the sentiment lately. It is nothing new, but there's more people, opening their eyes to it. And just because it is, if you want to call it a conspiracy theory, doesn't mean that there's no validity to it. There's been so many times where people have been called out in the past, and people are just like, oh, hey, why don't we just speak positively about these things, and why don't we, keep the haters down or whatever. But at the end of the day, the SEC is here, and they have come after people, and they probably still are looking and lurking. And, if the government, specifically U.S. government, looks at NFTs, depending on how they are as securities, then this is a bigger issue than just these founders pumping and dumping. I mean, you got OpenSea over here able to manipulate, the floor and the prices of collections themselves. For example, like collections that creators like myself have put up, they could change your data for sure, because they've done it to mine, where everything was erased, and then I had to manually give them information with an Excel sheet, and then they put up whatever I told them it was without even double looking at it.
Really?
Yeah.
When
So
did
that happened. That happened a couple months ago. I think Zalgo, we were talking about it in the DMs, but I resolved that by manually going through the transaction hashes and feeding them what I wanted them to put up, and they just put it up. So I went from having 0 ETH to having 1 point something in one of my collections. And for someone like me, I'm small. That's it's not that big of a deal, but you can imagine if it was a bigger collection.
Yeah, they just kind of
the fact that they have a back door to do something like that. The fact that they're able to do it like that and edit whatever kind of data like that is not really good news, because you can't just go into the stock market and then say, 1,000 shares were purchased when 1,000 shares really weren't purchased.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
And you could have manipulated what you had told them and said, "Oh, we had 5 ETH or whatever."
Yeah, we went back and forth for a while, and eventually they're just like, okay, we're going to look some more into this, and then they fixed everything. But, I mean, come on. It should be something that's automatic,
So what
things like
happened?
that.
Did your collection get reported?
No, so what happened was I did an airdrop, and a while back they had issues with the 115s or 1155s or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
They had issues with the metadata not aggregating on the website, so it wasn't showing any of the NFTs. And then I was like, you guys are having this issue. They reached out to me. They're like, we'll reset your collection. And then by them resetting the collection, it killed all my sales. And then, I was like, hey, these numbers are wrong. And then they told me it wasn't wrong. And then I had to pull out all the transaction hashes and show them, you guys only go back 15 days and I go back 45 days in this collection. So there's something not correlating here. And then they manually injected everything. So, those things happen, and it's not like they can't manipulate things if they wanted to. So.
That is concerning, because there could be a bad egg in there.
Oh, most definitely.
That is basically doing that. Then that's another thing about free mints is, I feel like, I'm not saying OpenSea is directly involved, but I feel like a lot of free mints get a giant volume that are basically unheard of before they drop are manipulated by the people behind it. They got hundreds of wallets that they're just they loaded up. They're buying from each other just to inflate the volume.
Yeah, and if you think about it, you could do this, if you had enough liquidity to do this yourself, and the floor is, everything is sitting at, 0.25, and there's 50 of them at 0.25, and you buy all 50, you automatically raise it to 0.3. I mean, to some extent, that's manipulating on its own, right?
Yeah.
And if you have a group of people doing that, so hey, we want to get from 0.25 to 0.4, and then at that point we'll unload. I mean, you could do that. I mean, if we all collectively came in here and chose a project to pump like that had the volume, we could do it, and without a doubt,
Now, what do you feel like the difference is between, let's say, the community coming together and almost artificially inflating the price, and a founder and a team of the actual project?
I don't know. I guess you have to treat it like actual stock, right? Where are those lines drawn? If we are in fact securities, where do you draw that line? How do they recognize it whenever there are pump and dump groups? Because there are pump and dump groups, right? And sometimes they do get in trouble.
Well, yeah, because the pump and dump groups, it's the people at the top that, they'll have 1,000 people and they'll tell you to buy, but they have already bought all their shares that they're going to buy. And they're just waiting for you to buy, and then they're selling to the people they're telling to pump. So they're making the bag right there, and that's what those are based. I assume every single one of those pump and dump things is exactly what's happening. Someone's taking the bag, and all the other people are just holding it. What's up, Dave? Solo.
I think like the SEC regulation line, like you can be as careful as you want, and you can tell people that you're offering a service with your NFT. The expectation from the purchaser is that they'll see a return on that NFT. That's what people expect coming into this industry. And right now, under kind of regulatory perspectives, that means that we're all potentially a security in one form or another of what we're doing. And until there's more defined regulation, and it is coming, there's a report being released by the UK government on DeFi, maybe this week, maybe next week, where they've got lots of different opinions in. And the different governments, regulatory bodies around the world will be looking at this all the time. But until there's defined regulations around NFTs, around crypto, around DeFi, then we just have to play with the assumption that we kind of are all securities if people are having to pay for things and expecting a share of our business, or expecting a share of profits, or expecting the thing that they've bought to intrinsically increase in value.
What's up, Solo? I completely agree, though, Dave.
Yeah, Dave's absolutely right about that. We're ultimately going to be securities. There's nothing about it, especially since most people are treating them like stocks anyways, with the flipping and trading and stuff. They're securities, and the government's just now catching up to it in the last year or so. But, as far as the pump and dumps go, that's straight up in the stock market, right? In the regulated stock market, in the securities market, that's completely illegal, right? There's already laws that are applied to things that happen in the NFT space that we take as oh, that's just how it's done. That in the stock market are completely illegal and have been illegal for centuries now. But since the NFT market was new and no one was watching it or whatever, it became this Wild West mentality where everything that was being done would be considered legal if the cops were watching, right? So where a lot of the problems coming from, I've only been in the space for a little under a year. But from what I've seen in the space for a lot of it, not so much on the Polygon network, but definitely on the ETH network, is that these kind of things are the norm, right? They're not the exception. It's not one bad apple. It's just how things are done. If you look at, without naming names, if you look at the most popular quote unquote influencers, right, that they open a space up, it gets 300 people or whatever, they mention a project or whatever, everyone in that space goes by, they sell out overnight. This is just how it's done, right? And where a lot of the problem comes in is a lot of these influencers are being paid by the project, either by getting a free mint on the whitelist or being just straight up sent NFTs, which in turn they dump whenever the project goes live, right? Yeah. But they're not disclosing that. So
and
therefore,
I think that's and I think that's one of the big issues, because if you have a sponsor, let's say on a different social media, like on YouTube or on Instagram or something like that, and you don't say it's an ad, you don't do hashtag ad, that's an issue because you're not disclosing. And I think a big point that HashBastards was saying about the art Gobblers is all these influencers that got a free mint were promoting it for the free mint, but at the same time we're not disclosing that they were promoting it because they had a benefit of it. And HashBastards is here right now. What's up, man?
What's up, you taco bastard? What are you doing, bro?
What's up, dude? We are discussing, or I'm trying to explain what's been happening over the past 24 hours with you and, and the art Gobblers and Farokh and shit. Shit's been going down.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you give somebody like me this much ammunition in that short period of time, it's almost like they want me to start saying shit, that's why I was confused. I was like, well, you guys know who I am, right? And what I do. you probably shouldn't be doing this and poking the bear and, you know, instigating, because I'm just going to go harder. You know, and it is funny because how do you fucking pronounce his name? I thought it was Farokh.
Oh, I have no idea.
He like the fact that he keeps replying to that main tweet, you know, just shows how nervous that it made him, and the fact that, you know, he removed his OpenSea intern tag off of his page. That kind of shows how much it rattled him and how much, you know, he's still thinking about that shit. I mean, he wrote a whole good morning tweet about it. Which, you know, I am.
Yo, Hash, it's so bad, bro. It's so bad.
It's so bad, bro. Like, how do you get bodied by a fucking dude with his nips out in his profile picture and 20,000 followers? Like, and not only that, but it was like K Money got bodied yesterday. Fucking Andrew Wang got bodied yesterday. And it was like, wow, a bunch of fucking small creators that don't have even like the total number of followers as one of you fucking clowns bodied all of you in 12 hours. That's how dangerous we are as a group. It's like, you fuckers are so stupid. And the fact that you have all of your bots commenting on my shit shows me how scared you are. And all your cocksuckers are, you know, are pulling up to the thread saying, "No, don't talk about my hero like that." Bitch, all right, I'm going to keep doing it. How about that? And I'm going to call you scumfuck too.
Yeah, I thought it was really ridiculous how like people were defending that, and it's like, it's obvious. I mean, I thought the funniest thing, and the funny thing is that that screenshot you took of him replying to himself with Rug Radio and then replying to himself again. I actually originally saw that on Reddit and was laughing my ass off.
No way, you saw it there first?
You had posted. I saw it on Reddit first.
Dude.
And then I saw that you had posted it.
Yeah, man.
And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was...
And then just...
Hey, guys.
Yo.
Real quick. I'm like fucking naive as shit right now. I don't know what you guys are talking about, so I'm like completely and totally lost.
All right. Yeah, let's start from the beginning.
All right, start from day
one. Pull back. All right. So
sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Maybe it's okay for Ryan to pin the tweet that people can.
Yeah. You want me to pin anything relevant? I mean, while we're talking about this.
Yeah. Go ahead and pin.
Yeah, pin it so that people can read what's going on.
Yeah. All right.
I think they deleted the initial ones that caused all the.
It was
the shit.
It was
right.
Funny.
I think Farokh.
Well, like, I don't know if Farokh deleted anything, but K Money, you know, because he sold this project yesterday, and we were calling him out, and then he tried to like dunk on Kush Cabin. You know, he like took a screenshot of his original collection, and was, you know, talking about like, oh, you don't make enough sales, which was, you know, then everybody was like, okay, so it's open season on dunking on your ass. And it was like, the original tweet was like, thank you to our Gobblers for allowing me to pay my rent this month. And it was like, are you making fun of somebody for not making sales when you were just like thanking God and your fucking influencer circle jerk for being able to pay your rent this month because you can't monetize your page? That's kind of sus. But anyway, all right, I got distracted. Let me, so this is the tweet that started it. I'll pin it first. And, you know, I'll preface this by saying that, you know, Farokh, he's had this tag on his page, OpenSea intern, for months. And, you know, he tries to say like, oh yeah, it's a joke. Don't worry about it. It's just me trolling. But he's one of the biggest people in the space. And OpenSea kind of leans into it and plays along with it. And, you know, kind of they flirt back and forth like a cute little couple.
Well, that's why I thought it was legit.
Exactly.
Because I remember the tweet. I remember the tweet where it happened, where the OpenSea tweeted at them and said, do you want to be an intern?
Yeah.
So to the public eye, that's what happened.
Exactly.
You know, they talked behind the scenes. He was an intern, and then it was in his name. So there was no knowledge that this was a meme or anything, because the actual company, like you said, was leaning into it.
Well, I think that what, you know, people were trying to get me on was like, oh, he makes jokes about this in his fucking GM Rug Radio show. And it's like, I'm not fucking listening to that. And if he's not putting it on Twitter, then everybody's going to think it's true. And not only that, but it's like the reason that he took that OpenSea intern thing, like, so after this, right, this tweet started blowing up. And I think that's what made him nervous too. I can give you guys the analytics in a second, but
By the way, congrats on being the new OpenSea intern.
Yes, thank you very much.
Congrats on that, sir.
RIP to Farokh, and he did a great job. During his time as being an OpenSea intern, but he got fired for working with a child predator. So, it's my job now. So here I am.
What is that? So
yeah, all right. So I'll keep going
by saying because people. Let's just pretend people don't know shit.
Yep.
So my understanding of just reading it is for the art gobblers, a influencer. I think it was Andrew Wang, who is a man.
Yeah. Wait. Before you get into that, so I'll start it from the beginning so that we know just how fucked up this is. All right. Just so that we can all sort of unravel this information as it was unraveled publicly. So the first thing that made me tweet this out was okay, we all saw OpenSea and Farokh replying to each other. We all saw OpenSea and Rug Radio replying to each other on the timeline. Kind of sus that not only is Rug Radio trending on the front page of OpenSea, but also so is, part 2 of this story, Art Gobblers, which is a brand new project just released yesterday where every single influencer is pumping this project, including Farokh. So what that says to me is not only is he trying to play into this whole I'm an OpenSea intern thing and OpenSea's playing with it back. It looks so sus that his 2 projects, a project that he founded and then a project that he is currently pumping, would be on the homepage at the same time. And I guarantee that he took that OpenSea intern tag off of his page because he realized how bad it looks, because it literally looks like Nate Chastain Part 2. And that's the second tweet that I added in this thread was Nate Chastain. He was charged. He was fired from OpenSea and charged for insider trading because what he did was, while working at OpenSea, and this was last year, he would pick a project, he would buy into it, then he would put it on the OpenSea front, the homepage, watch it absolutely fucking pump, and then sell it after it pumped, which is insider trading. And he got charged for it. So OpenSea doesn't want to fuck with that kind of shit. OpenSea doesn't want that kind of narrative out there. And the fact that they're leading into it is irresponsible. Even if it's a joke, you shouldn't be fucking joking about it. So Art Gobblers. Art Gobblers is a project made by Justin Roiland, who is the creator of Rick and Morty. And somehow he got tapped into the entire circle of NFT influencers that usually pump projects, right? So we're talking the Farokhs, the Fleurs, the Thread guys, the Zenecas. All of these people were somehow connected to this guy, and no one was really sure how or why. How did this guy get plugged in? And there's already been some shit that's come out about Justin Roiland being kind of creepy with children and texting minors and stuff. And that's a quote tweet that I put up earlier as well, and I'll pin that next. But basically, this Art Gobblers project came out, and every single notable NFT influencer, every single one, was magically on this free mint whitelist for this project, Art Gobblers, that dropped yesterday and magically pumped to 12 to 15 Ethereum floor price. Now, not only did it pump to a 12 to 15 Ethereum floor price, these influencers started selling at that price. They started dumping on people. K-Money sold for 15 Ethereum. Now, why is this so crazy? First of all, yes, it is an insider pump and dump just like every other project we've ever fucking seen. You're right. What makes this different? Well, let me show you. Andrew Wang, he is one of the biggest influencers in the space. He has been around since last year. He was one of the main people and influencers that helped pump Cool Cats. And he was gifted or somehow, magically, luckily minted a one-of-one upside-down Cool Cat. And that's probably where you recognize him from. It's his upside-down Cool Cat profile picture. Well, Andrew Wang, secretly, without telling anybody, probably his, influencer cronies knew and his friends, but publicly, nobody knew this. He was in charge of a Twitter account page, and you can read it. the bio says, I'm me. I'm Balthazar Crumps. I'm 13. I like to draw. I saw an alien one time. So then people started figuring out that, wait, I'm pretty sure that this is Andrew Wang who's running this account pretending to be a 13-year-old. Now, keep in mind, this man is a college graduate. He's a grown man. And now the thing, it seems that he is pretending to be a 13-year-old child on Twitter. And then he tweets it and says, fuck it, I'm proud of the work I did for Art Gobblers. The last 2 months, I ran an official Art Gobblers account, a fictional character created by Justin Roiland, Dave, and me. His name is Balthazar Crumps, and we created him with no promise of whitelist, but for me to be an artist. So this is a grown man pretending to be a 13-year-old boy to help pump Art Gobblers, which is already incredibly strange and a little uncomfortable. But it doesn't really stop there, because then you remember that all of these influencers, these NFT influencers, knew about this, knew the fact that this Andrew Wang fuck was pretending to be a 13-year-old child. This is a grown man pretending to be a 13-year-old child on Twitter. And they think that
he wasn't like memeing and saying anything. He was actually pretending to be a 13-year-old child.
He was
to pump it up, being like, "Oh, a 13-year-old child is an artist on this collection."
He was playing a character, and they tried to like weird whale their way into like, "Oh, we have a 12-year-old artist." Now, you might think like, "Okay, that's kind of weird." Grown man pretending to be a 13-year-old child. I mean, really fucking weird. Creepy. There were people defending this, and I heard somebody tell me, well, what do you mean? Like, people are the voices of children on TV all the time. And, you know, to me, I think that is such a funny argument, because if you don't see the difference between an adult openly playing a role on a TV show and they are like named in the credits and, you know, given their name is like, you know, given as the voice of this thing, versus somebody you don't know as a grown man pretending to be a 13-year-old on Twitter. If you don't see the problem with that or the difference, you're kind of fucking weird too. So there was a lot of self-exposing going on there yesterday when people just weren't really like taking this, and today, not taking this like pretending to be a child thing seriously. And this is the part about it that really rubbed me the wrong way, was they're all sticking up, these NFT influencers, they're sticking up for Andrew Wang for pretending to be a child on Twitter when he's a grown-ass man, because they all remember made out like fucking bandits getting a whitelist for a free mint project, Art Gobblers. So this is a grown man pretending to be a 13-year-old. And if you look at the tweet I pinned, this last one, he made a tweet that said, I also like the smell of my own goo. My nose goo, that is. I don't know what everyone else is talking about. So this grown-ass man pretending to be a child on Twitter is making sexually suggestive jokes knowingly on his Twitter page. Is this not the weirdest fucking thing anyone's ever seen, ever? And it just gets deeper and deeper, because I've never seen such a coordinated inside pump in my life. The screenshots that were coming out last night of the people minting these, the influencers minting these all in a row. Like when you see Farokh, Andrew Wang, Zinica, Fleur, all of these fucking 4-digit ETH numbers and fucking ape holders minting this project back to back to back to back to back, not even pulling like individual mint screenshots from like, 5 minutes apart. This is literally one of them minted, then the next person minted, then the next person minted. They all made 15 ETH off of their friend Andrew Wang, who pretended to be a 13-year-old dude, a 13-year-old child on Twitter, and sold this collection out for Justin Roiland, who, by the way, this is the last tweet I'll pin, because somebody pointed this out today, is that Justin Roiland, there's been some shit about him talking to minors for years, and that's kind of sus too. So, I'm having a hard time understanding how you can possibly defend these actions, how you can possibly defend the genesis of this project, how you can possibly defend the marketing for this project, the rollout for this project, and then how you can possibly defend any NFT influencer who was involved, profited from and continues to defend this project. It is disgusting. It is not only one of the biggest insider pumps I've ever seen out here, it is also fucking disgusting and gross that this dude is pretending to be a child sending out sexually explicit tweets. Are you fucking serious? He was a sociology major. This is fucking predatory. It's manipulative. And none of these NFT influencers are saying a thing about it because they all made 20K last night. So that's why I fucking hate our Gobblers. That's why I hate Farokh. That's why I went after all of them, and I will continue to do so. And every single person that you see come on my tweets and defend these fucking assholes, just keep in mind that they also probably profited off of this project, and they also don't care about this, some fucking grown man LARPing as a child on Twitter to get sales. It's all just so fucking sad and disgusting. And, I think a lot more people are going to be talking about it. And, that's the reason that Farokh was so nervous about the posts that I made, because here, I'll even read, I'll read you guys the engagement that this original tweet got that started everything. And this is the reason that this fucker no longer has OpenSea Intern in his bio, because he knows and everyone else knows that it looks really fucking bad. And he's realizing now that he may have played a little too hard into the joke. And he's realizing now that a lot of motherfuckers agree with me and also see him as a problem, and his fucking house of glass facade is falling apart. This tweet that I tweeted last night at 10:41 p.m. has 173K impressions, 900 likes. A lot of those are bot comments from, from people defending Farokh and Andrew Wang and whoever else, which is also a little suspicious that they can mobilize that kind of crowd like that. But I don't give a fuck if I'm the only person speaking out about this and 20 of their fucking cronies come onto my thread and start, sucking their dick. Go fuck yourself. You just got in the line of fire too. So, I don't feel bad about, going off on anybody who's defending these people, because they're sick. They're disgusting. Not only are they like predatory monetarily and, they're dangerous to the space, now they're doing like 2 or 3 or 4 different criminal things. And it's just like, when do we finally say, okay, we're done. We're not going to let this happen anymore. And I think yesterday was the start of that. So, I'm hyped. And I was glad, that you invited me in here. I'll always fucking, talk about shit when shit's going down. A lot of people try to say I'm harassing Farokh, or I'm harassing this person, or I'm, toxic, or I'm whatever the fuck it is. I'm attacking. People are being victimized. None of that is true. That's all just gaslighting bullshit to deflect from any sort of criticism. So keep that in mind too, because, these people are very toxically positive and try to sell themselves. It's like, oh, good morning, wag me, blah, blah, blah. And then they like secretly dump on all their followers who are just fucking, like little vacuum cleaners trying to fucking circle around their feet at the dinner table, picking up fucking scraps and crumbs. I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't have even bought this project if I knew about it and got a whitelist, because it is fucking disgusting. All of it is. This is fucking blood money. So, I'll keep it there. You guys can ask questions, wherever the fuck, Taco, you can talk. But I guess that's my spiel.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree. I saw your tweet last night, and I was at work at the time, actually, and I completely just fell down the whole fucking rabbit hole, and it was pretty insane. And that's why I was like, I would love for you to come, like, instead of just typing, like, explain and be passionate about it. And I love the new NFTs that you made, the Andrew Wang one and the Farokh one. I thought those were so funny, and you even made the Elon Musk one, which was really funny as well, which we're going to be talking about a little bit later. But I'm really happy that someone like you in the space is calling people out, not afraid to call people out, and not just like, oh, they might not like me, because that's what we need. These people got to like stop getting away with shilling behind the scenes and then getting the whitelist and selling for 15 ETH and then acting like they did nothing wrong,
Totally. Like, I appreciate the fuck out of you, like, saying nice shit like that, man. And I don't want anybody to like get it twisted and think that I have some kind of like vigilante complex and I'm like Batman bastard, going around fucking solving crimes. I just like really hate a lack of accountability in a space that really needs accountability for long-term growth and success. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm always coming from a place of passion for the space and the health of the space. I'm never going after anybody like personally. I'm going after anybody that's a part of the problem. And they just don't like to hear that I think that they're part of the problem because, I have a reputation at this point for calling that shit out. It started, with Chubbies back in fucking April of 2021. And I've called out every single fucking horrible, dangerous, fucking toxic person to the space. And that's just, kind of what I do.
And I've been following you for a while, and I've seen that. And if anybody isn't following HashBastards, definitely jump in. They have a newsletter pinned on their profile as well. Definitely check that out because it's definitely he's calling out people that otherwise really wouldn't be called out, and he's getting a lot of attention from it as well because he's really the only one doing it to these big creators and stuff. Dave, you got something?
First of all, it's great to hear you speak, HashBass. I don't want to swear on a recorded space. I'm sorry, but it's
shit. I'm sorry too. My bad.
Yeah, I'll bleep all the fucking swears out. I got you.
You guys swear for me, right? It's like our spaces is very much family friendly, and I want to encourage young creators as well. So it's very much part of my brand image, if you like, and also why I'm maybe not as vocal as you are at directly calling people out. But I agree with so much of what you've said, and I'm glad that people are willing to stand up. And I've got to bounce, Ryan, for another meeting, but it takes us to not go and buy into this. That's what it actually takes, and not the tweets that these guys are putting out. It takes us to not go and jump on the Nickelodeon drops when they're putting stuff out like that because we see the 4, 5, 10x. We need to stay away from these things if we want the industry to change. If we're going to keep funding the industry in these areas and we're going to keep telling people that this is the way that they can make money, they're going to keep doing it. We need to be better. Thank you for putting that message out there more than anything else.
Hey, thank you so much, Dave.
I completely agree. If companies keep coming in and those are the only ones selling out, and the little guys, basically everyone here that has a collection, are just thrown by the wayside, and the big influencers are just pumping the mainstream ones only basically because they get paid behind the scenes or they get the free whitelist, and they know that because them and all their friends are pumping in that they're going to be able to sell for a bag. It's just the space is never going to evolve. It's never going to be what it actually should be. Like you said, it's Hash. It's like the Wild West right now, and it's or I think Nudie said that, but it's really messed up right now. And I think once people start getting called out more often and the masses realizing what's going on, I think that's the positive change we need. And maybe some people just kind of need to disappear from the space, and that'll be a good thing. All the people that are just pumping and dumping and just shilling because they get the benefit from it instead of actually supporting the project. So
that's the thing about Web3, right? Everyone talks about Web3, and we're all creators here, and we have been given this opportunity to do stuff that we weren't able to do before. But in a lot of ways, we're still operating in yesterday's Web 2. Artists back then had a hard time competing against bigger people, and that's still going to be the case now. But the difference between now and then is we have these platforms that we come together, to build on. And, we got all these DMs, we got all these Discords, we got all these spaces where we're able to communicate effectively with each other and support each other. Whenever Hash calls out one of these dudes, we all could jump on and be fucking trolls to some extent. Then that's what it takes sometimes, especially with these bigger guys who they're just using everyone for exit liquidity. So, it's like what Dave said, don't buy into those things. And I doubt any of us are, because who has 15 ETH right now just to drop on a bag? I doubt any of us. But
I'm thinking, and I haven't looked at the analytics because it's only been a day, but all the people buying at 15 ETH, it's going to be just like
they're going to be bag holders.
It's going to be Goblin Town. People that are buying at 15 ETH are going to be holding the bag. They're thinking it's going to go higher. This is the first day. It's the pump that everybody that was holding for the whitelist was waiting for, and they just made out like bandits, and everybody that bought for 15th ETH is just going to be holding the bag. It's going to, if if time replays itself, it's just going to drop.
Yep.
People
you know what gets me the most is whenever you're on these posts and you see them being like, oh, well, you guys are just crying about not being able to get on the whitelist. If you were paying attention, you'd be able to get on the whitelist. If you were in the right circles, you would be able to get on the whitelist. But like, the problem with this whole thing is the whitelist. The fact that we have whitelists, people are able to get on there early like that. That is the problem itself. You know, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people in NFT, and they're only handing out X amount of spaces. I mean, that's a 1%er space, you know.
Beautifully fucking said.
No matter how you want to look at it, like if you want to tell me, oh, you should have been paying attention, then I guess these other 500,000 people, the 3 million people that Reddit onboarded, should have been paying attention too, you know. The fact
so
that
arrogant and condescending.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then people go and back them up like, oh yeah, I'm in this space all the time and I got on it. Like, bro, you got on it out of the million of people that are here every day. Like look at the bigger picture, you know.
Dude,
it's crazy.
I'd love to speak on that real fast. Like, I say this in my fucking space every morning. Whether you are a scammer or not, whitelist only exists to scam. Like, that's what they're for. The idea that your project that you have not launched, that could be a giant bag of shit, rug tomorrow, who knows who you are, who knows what you're doing. The idea that I need to earn my way into a list so that I can pay a set price, not a market price, not a decided by the community price, a price that the NFT collection has decided is what it's worth, or even better yet, one of these free whitelists where, ooh, I got to get on it, but then it's free. Dude, that's a scam. The end. You can tell me there's some out there that isn't. That's the whole fucking point of that. It's fake FOMO. It's automatic. You need this when there's zero reason you need this. No one needs it until someone else has bought it. Like, so the entire premise of whitelist is just it's just total bullshit. Like, the only thing that works in the real world, a comparative to that, is when a brand has already succeeded. So 99% of these things I'm talking about, they're a brand new brand with zero recognition, zero clout, zero cred, zero history. So the idea that they think there's value to something that they've never done before, that they haven't done with someone else successfully, is just total garbage.
This is exactly what Yuga's in trouble for right now. You know?
Yeah.
Crowdfunding, making promises about other deed, and you're going to be able to who the fuck knows, and then selling out.
They're fucked. They're fucked.
Yeah, once you start doing shit like that, then it's game over. You know,
because they can't deliver on what they promised. They're never going to. So they're fucked.
I want to know what HashBastards thought is on Utes, because they had a very they came out of nowhere. They had the very weird drop. They got a lot of influence very quickly. And I haven't heard much. Maybe I'm just not following in the right circle, but I haven't heard much since the first initial wave.
I've got a lot I can say about Utes too. He's D-Gods is I hate him. I fucking hate him. D-Gods is the biggest product on Solana, and Utes is their second collection. And the precursor I'll give you about D-Gods is that they made a ton of fucking money on Solana, and the entire time they had a creator royalty of 10%. So they made a fuck ton of money on royalties while selling out their D-Gods collection. Now, after making all that money, they are trying to lobby for 0% royalties on the marketplace. And it worked. Magic Eden switched to 0% royalties. And, you know, they framed it as a noble thing. Like, we don't want to take any more money from our people. But they don't really need royalties anymore, right? Because they can just make their money on secondary collections, like Utes. Now, let's get into Utes. Utes, they promised a lot, right? They sold it out. They made a ton of money. And they got the royalties on that, too. You know, convenient that they only wanted to drop to 0% royalties after they already cashed out and probably couldn't make much more on royalties anyway. And they're also kneecapping all future collections from ever having a chance at competing with them, because how can you compete with a large project like that while getting 0% royalties? Oh, well, you got to be innovative and creative in the ways that you make money, right? So it's on us. It's on you, the small creator, to figure that out. Yeah, give me a fucking break. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss.
No,
now,
you can swear. I think it was just Dave.
Okay, all right, yeah. Listen, I was like, Taco, bro, you should have told me that at the beginning, because
no. I
vulgar.
swear all the time. I try not to swear in Dave's space and stuff because he is trying to be family friendly. Him and but I speak my mind. So, and that's how I talk. So you do.
Okay, yeah, same. Like when I get really in like the flow state, bro, I'll start fucking cussing and shit like crazy. So
Taco don't care. Haven't you seen his tacos? Fucking his taco schlong, dude. Oh my god.
No. Listen, the taco schlong isn't out in the world yet. Don't talk about this taco.
Hey, bro, dude, stop dropping alpha, bro.
Taco dicks. Taco dicks.
All right. You fucking fuckers. So this project.
It's not November, guys.
Yeah, Nico, sickening.
I failed.
All right, so that precursor to D-Gods out of the way, they're fucking horrible human beings trying to take advantage of a situation to favor them monetarily, while also appearing to take the noble high road, which I find very manipulative and disgusting. But they dropped their youth project, and it has been unrevealed now for 2+ months. They have.
Well, isn't the whole thing that they're trying to? Isn't the whole thing like they're trying to get other people to make their assets, and then
they trashed all the artwork?
Did they?
They trashed all the artwork because people said like the artwork is trash, and they made this tweet that was like, "We made a mistake." A lot of them. And then it was a video of one of the artists scrolling through all fucking 10,000 Utes they were going to drop and saying it's all trash, all of it. So then like that's adding more time to the reveal time because they don't have the art done yet. They scrapped it all. And the thing that's funny about it is Utes Yacht Club, which was like the ETH derivative of Utes, they launched probably the day after Utes did. They launched, they pumped, they sold out, they built a community over the course of like 2 months. Then they rugged and took all the money, and they did all of that before the original Utes even revealed, which I think is hilarious.
We think we know.
Yeah, that's the Utes.
We know.
And anybody on Solana, is such a piece of garbage, like Shillin' Villain, Red Guy, all those motherfuckers.
All trash.
They're all
that's one project. All right,
you said Taco earlier, like, yeah, Beanie was away. He started all this shit. He's like the Antichrist of NFT shit. He was gone. He disappeared.
We know.
Those fucking idiots brought him up on a Spaces stage in front of 2,000 people like they were fucking resurrecting a motherfucking mummy. I mean, in fucking Egypt, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, why would you mess with that? So I had to go crazy on that too, because it's like people aren't going to remember what Beanie did. People forget out here what happens. So that's why I'm like, I'm going to keep fucking keep track of all of it. Cause like now I can speak on all these things off the cuff and I have it all in my brain and I know all the details and I can pull up the proof if need be, but I've got the fucking details in my head.
Well, this Beanie thing that he's mentioning right now actually is related to something that they brought up earlier when you were outside of the space with Blur.
The fucking secret seed investor.
Yeah.
So and somehow magically correlated to the fucking, the public launch of Blur, somehow magically correlated to Beanie's return to the fucking Twitter spaces, getting 2,000 listeners, and they lied about him being a seed investor, and then he was. So, sketchy.
You got something, Solo?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment that with the Utes thing too, one of the big, like when they were pumping, they were describing them as innovative. And the whole innovative aspect of it was their marketing innovative, which goes to show like the mindset of the NFT space is because their whole marketing thing was setting up that list where you had to apply to it, right? And if you got in on the whitelist after putting in an application, then you made it, right? You were important to the space. But no average Joe like me or you got on that, got past that application. It was all these influencers and project founders and celebrities.
Well,
right?
that's what I thought. That was a list to hide, and they probably told all their friends to not even apply, but they could just throw anybody they wanted onto that list and made it like, oh, this person applied, they got on because, randomness or something like that.
Well, and it got everyone talking about it. It got everyone talking about it because they wanted to be on it. It basically comes down that the NFT space has an elitist problem, right? So you mentioned a couple of times the rich get richer. It's a small group of people, right? All of these quote unquote influencers and project founders that are serial rug pullers. Like they'll rug pull more than one project and still come back over and over again. And it's because they're all in the same quote unquote alpha groups, right? If you're in the right group, you get on the white list, like someone said. Well, in these groups, it's all the same people. And these are always the projects that sell out and rug. It's a real problem.
Quilt, you got something? Then I see Jake, you got your hand up.
Yeah. My question is basically, this is actually the first time I'm hearing of all these escapades that are happening in the Web3 space, yeah? So I'm just curious, how based off your experience, how do you suggest, we as a community can mitigate this? Because, Hash here is saying about a lot of interesting rug pullers, shitty NFT projects here and there. And, we, the common man, we just closing, we just go in blindly hoping that, we're going to make the next million. And next thing, as we all say, this thing, we're there holding the bag. So how do you, advise like someone starting into NFTs or someone wants to be a collector? How do you advise, we do this? We as a project, we're not going to NFTs, but I'm just curious, just for learning purposes, how can we mitigate this?
I think the first thing that needs to happen is these people need to get scared. They don't need to feel safe about what they're doing. They're not going to get caught. So the SEC's got to come down on people that are doing this, just like they would be doing in the stock market. When people realize that, they're going to get caught, they're gonna go to jail time for rug pulling, or they're gonna go to jail time for pumping and dumping. That's when we'll see a lot of these people exit the space. Maybe some people will try to redeem themselves and just try to go legit, but at that time their name's already going to be stunted. But I think that us as a community, there's really nothing that we can officially do, because we're all small fish in a giant pond where these whales are just running the whole space freely without thought of any consequences.
Interesting. Sorry, let me just ask my last one. My last question is about insider trading. I believe, Hash, you said something about Farokh with the Gobblers or something like that. How, only if, let's say, the next person or whosoever works in OpenSea, how, from your experience, how would you advise, for something like this not to happen again? Because it seems inevitable that as long as you work for OpenSea, right, I have some few cash on you, you can close the eye, and pump a project, pump and dump. It just seems so weird. We built this for the people and we're exploiting the system.
Well, let me just say real quick before Hash jumps in. I love OpenSea, but I think they really fumbled the bag with that whole Farokh thing, because they were leaning into it as well. The public knowledge was that he was an intern. OpenSea was going along with it. So from everything out in public, it seemed like they added him on as an intern, and he was getting access to information that normal people wouldn't have. Like, I think they kind of definitely fucked up here as well, OpenSea.
100%. I mean, OpenSea, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I honestly,
I don't know if it's the person who's just running their Twitter,
Right,
just
exactly.
memeing and shit.
Exactly.
But they definitely fucked up.
That was definitely the wrong move by them, especially in the context of the Nate Chastain charge. Like, this is a place that's already been involved with a shady person that has been charged federally. So just to see them kind of playing loosey goosey and kind of flipping with it is disappointing to see, because it's like you're putting all of your smaller creators in danger of losing their main place to sell NFTs because you have some social media fuck being irresponsible on the timeline. Like, that's just not good business management. And the Taco, can you remind me of the original question? It was like advice for coming into the NFT space, right?
So he was saying, how do we kind of avoid things like that happened, like with the rug pulls and getting in on projects that are kind of just pumping through influencers and stuff, if I got that right, Quill.
Totally.
Yep. Exactly.
All right. So I would say the biggest, this has been the biggest thing for me from the very beginning, has been connecting with people smarter than me, or more informed than me, or more in it than me, or just people that are informed in general, or passionate about NFTs in general, or have the same sort of similar more.
They're coming after you, dude. They're coming after you. I can hear them in the background.
Oh yeah, I know. I know. You listen, they found me, bro. They fucking found me. No, listen, I'm sitting outside my apartment and there's a fucking hospital like 2 blocks away. So I always get the fucking life flight helicopters and the fucking sirens and shit, bro.
I think the biggest problem is FOMO.
Absolutely, yeah, because here's the thing, like, alpha groups are such a big part of NFTs, right? And in my experience being in alpha groups, it's very hard, especially now, to be successful trading NFTs if you're not going to be day trading them and sort of watching what's happening all day. And then it's tough being in these alpha groups because you see people making money, on things that you would have made money on if you had more time to look at it. But, you're running a project, you have a full-time job. Like, your full-time job is not DJing NFTs. So I think that's even something that I need to, remind myself, because I definitely get sucked into, FOMO and trying to flip NFTs, because I often used NFTs last year, flipping NFTs, so that I could then go and support other smaller creators who either needed a sale or deserved a sale or something. So flipping NFTs has always been kind of a part of my routine. But as you get busier and you're trying to build a project, and you're trying to be creative, it's very hard to go back and forth between that creative mind of okay, I'm creating something, in that very logical mind of, okay, I need to sit down and study analytics and trade successfully. So I feel like you kind of have to pick and choose how hard you go into what. But then also it's just connecting with people and learning how the NFT space operates from a consumer to artist point of view, and then from an artist to artist point of view, I think is very valuable. That's something I did with HashBastards when I first joined, was take 2 weeks to sort of study the ecosystem and how people talk to each other and how people interacted. And, the community was strong even back then when it was smaller, which is what drew me in. But, now I think the community is so big, it's about finding and surrounding yourself with the right people who aren't going to steer you in the wrong direction. And a lot of times it's hard because it can be, trial and error and learning the hard way and trusting people that kind of end up fucking you over. But, that's going to be valuable in the long run, because you're going to know what to look for in red flags and dealing with people. And you're also going to know what to look for in somebody that you want to be surrounded by. So, I mean, my biggest advice would be the people you surround yourself with and connect with and talk to every day, because those are the people that, kind of keep me sane out here too. Like the Kush Cabins and the Goos and even, the Nudies. And there's a lot of people in here that I talk to a lot, Black Cloud. these people that kind of have similar convictions as I do, and have a similar viewpoint on this influencer fucking shit, and care about the health of the space rather than the greed of the project. So that I think if you surround yourself with the right people, one, it's going to be easier to spot the shitty people, and two, you're going to feel a lot more supported and a lot less alone. In a NFT marketplace that's currently overrun with these fucking selfish, degenerate assholes.
Yeah, and I think the most of it is people just trying to. They see people get in the bag and they're like, oh, this could be the next project. Everyone's talking about it, but it just turns out that they already have the bag and they're just waiting for everybody to FOMO in and get it. I don't think I've said this in many spaces, I have never bought an NFT to flip. I don't really do that. I just buy NFTs because I like the project. I like the founder behind the project. I like what they stand for. And I think I've bought hundreds of NFTs, and I think I've maybe sold 2. So, Jake, you got something?
Yeah, I was just this whole thing about like getting into space and what to do and where to be, and this is just my opinion. Like, I'm not telling anyone how to operate, but in my experience and just looking at it super objectively, like the entire Ethereum network, everything, all of it, I don't care whether it's Bored Apes or some random dude, like that's an absolute elitist 1% community. And I heard someone talking about it before, but I want to talk more specifically about that because there's this like weird mantra out there that like everyone's a few good shitcoin trades away from being an Ethereum whale. That's a load of shit. An absolute load of shit.
Yes, it fucking is. I can tell you from experience, goddammit.
Yeah, fucking A. Tell me about it. I've tried. And what's silly to me is like there's this thing out there, and I'm gonna get on my fucking Polygon fucking soapbox here and scream, but like I spend all day listening to every dumbass who knows nothing tell me that Polygon's shit, that it's hard to use, that it's this, that it's that, that it's other. But the thing that they always end up going back to is one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever listened to people who pretend to be smart argue. And that is that somehow the gas associated with Ethereum is what makes that chain legit. Let me tell you right now, for everyone in here, I have never heard a bigger bag of bullshit in my life. The idea that something technology-based is better because it costs more, takes longer, and is more likely to fail is the absolute oxymoron of what any technology exists to be. So when anyone tells you the reason this is good is because it's actually shittier and harder and costs more is not a fucking argument. That's why it sucks. Literally, it's technology. We don't want things to take longer, cost more. That's not how technology works. And I spend every day in this space listening to a bunch of dumbasses tell me that the massive fees they got to pay to interact is why that's more legit. That's more shit, bro. That's going to go away. No one in 20 years is going to be bragging about wanting to pay gas fees. They're all going to be talking about how once upon a time you morons did, or whatever the fucking narrative is.
Yeah, I've seen people on Twitter, like, because they have, like, tools that check your wallet and show how much gas fee that you spent over the life of your NFT career, and people are bragging. It's like, oh, I spent $100,000 on gas fee. Like, that's nothing to brag about. Like,
dude, you're a dumbass.
I've done the same amount of transactions, and I've spent $10 on gas fees through Polygon. Like, it is an elitist group. It's great.
It's an elitist group, and it's sold as it's not, which is what pisses me off. There's this like metric of like
this wag me toxic positivity bullshit that they
day in and day out. It's a bunch of rich dude. You have nothing in common with these people. Like, I need these people. You need to understand who these people. These are motherfuckers. Yeah, they can get up tomorrow and never do another thing again, and they'll be fine. Can any of you say that? Okay, then you can't relate to him, and you don't understand what his motivation is, and you shouldn't be listening to him. He doesn't live your life. He doesn't have your problems. He's not concerned with what you're concerned about. Like, he's hoping your sucker dumbass thinks, oh, yeah, I'm going to be the next Ethereum whale. The fuck you are. He's gonna make money off of you, and you're still gonna be a poor piece of shit begging to be on his shittier chain. It's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. And I cannot wait for Ethereum not to be the fucking main net of NFTs, because there's no fucking way long term it will be. There's no fucking way.
I completely agree, especially with everything coming out and all the new change that the gas fees are a fraction of what Ethereum is. It's insane. Soli, you got something?
Yeah, I wanted to comment on that, where like the biggest like criticism I get whenever I ask someone is like, oh, why don't you like Polygon, is that because there's too many scams on Polygon, or it opens it up for too many scams. And I'm like, you're like an ETH maxi. You literally are on the blockchain where all the scams happen. They don't happen that often on Polygon. You know, it's really backwards.
Dude,
but then also when this whole Reddit thing happened, right, in the past like week or so, and all the influencers were pumping it and doing their normal thing that they always do with all of their projects and stuff, none of them mentioned that it was on Polygon, right? That they were using Matic to buy these things. It's like they went out of their way to not mention that they were buying Polygon NFTs. I just thought it was hilarious.
No, I completely agree. And a lot of people were pumping it, saying they were making, they were selling for X amount of money. And no one was saying, like, you'd have to go if you didn't know about it and look and see, oh, it's on Polygon, and figure it all out, because none of them, they don't want to say it. They don't want to say that they're branching off to other chains and stuff like that, which doesn't make any sense. Like, if you buy a couple NFTs on Ethereum, you buy a couple NFTs on Polygon or Avalanche or Solana or whatever, like, I don't get what the whole elitist, like, one chain fucking thing is. And full disclosure, I think I have one NFT on Ethereum, and the rest I've just fucked with Polygon, but that's because I'm a broke motherfucker and I don't want to pay a shit ton of gas fees. I think one of the main reasons and situations that made me want to mainly work with Polygon is I was trying to buy, like, I think a $10 ETH NFT that I really liked. I like the art, I like the person behind it, and it was like it was a $9 NFT, and it was like $100 gas fee, and that instantly I was just like, fuck this, like, there's no way. I'm not gonna waste $100, because the only way to get your money back is to 10x it and hopefully it sell, but the floors are so low and shit. So that was a big reason why I've mainly stuck with Polygon, branched out a little bit to different collections as well, and blockchains. But yeah, you got something?
Yeah, no, I was just raising my hand. I was gonna tell you guys I gotta pop out to another meeting, so I'll talk to you guys later. But as you guys know, I used to be on Poly, moved over to ETH, and I see the pros and cons. But my real question was, HashBastards, how do you feel about Polygon?
Well, all right. I've never liked Polygon. I've had the option to use Polygon my entire NFT career. I've always decided against it because kind of the same reason I've decided against using Solana and Tez, for my main projects, because it's not realistic right now to find success on those chains, if I'm being honest with you.
All the buyers are on Ethereum.
Yep, the buyers are on Ethereum. It's much harder to onboard people onto an L2 chain in my mind. And that might change, with people like Reddit onboarding people to Polygon. But for now, in this moment, I kind of am a little bit of an ETH maxi myself. I can't even lie to you fuckers. I got to be honest.
I set you up for that.
I know, and Jake, I know you're disappointed, and I understand. But like, especially the last year when like the overall volume of Ethereum your trade volume, I should say, of Ethereum was lower. The gas prices were incredibly low. I mean, I was minting things for like 3 to 5 to 7 GUI, which is very, very cheap, fucking under $1. And I think that's why a lot of the Solana people ended up coming over to ETH to help pump those projects, because it was kind of that same low gas ecosystem that they're used to over on Solana. And I think that's what, sort of led to the growth of the shill and villain spaces with Thread Guy and Bark and King Fudd. But, overall, I believe that Polygon's history, while there are a lot of scams on Ethereum, that's like the main place for scams, obviously rug pulls and pump and dumps. Polygon, in my mind, is used more for like the sly hacks. And they're like, ooh, I snuck this into your wallet for free and, mass sent it to a lot of wallets and you clicked it. And then I drained your ass. And I think Polygon has a reputation for that. And it's just harder to use. Bridging and things like that. It's harder for newbies. So,
and I think that over time it has been a little easier. So like, I totally get like jumping through hoops. Like if you wanted to do Matic or something like that, especially just buying like last year, buying an NFT on OpenSea on Matic, you had to get ETH, you had to switch it, you have to bridge it over, and you had to then
don't have to do that.
But now OpenSea has, they've implemented, you can do it directly with Matic. You don't need bridge.
I would ask Nudie, like somebody who's been on both Polygon and ETH, like where have you found more success?
Yeah, what are the pros and cons?
So first of all, I was just fucking with you. I know I was gonna put you on the spot with that question. But, you bastard. But whenever I was on Poly, it's like what you said though. It is true for a good majority. So what I've seen is there's a big community on Polygon, creators who, like Taco said, are broke as fuck, which was me as well. And that's why we started on it. But there is a learning curve back then to onboard people, and it was hard. And that was my biggest concern, or I guess my biggest, the thing that held the most weight when I decided to switch over to Ethereum, because at the time it was hard. And I would still say it is still takes another step or two for the average Joe to get there.
Full pause. I've heard this 3 times now, and I don't agree. So someone needs to prove.
I'm telling you from my point of view.
I think right now the only loop or hoop you have to go through is adding Polygon to your wallet, your MetaMask, adding the blockchain and adding.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying from my perspective. As someone who has created smart contracts on both manually and all that stuff, and had to onboard people into a community, at the time, whenever I was on Polygon, like last year, it was harder. Now you can press a button and switch networks, and it'll do it automatically, right? But for a little while, it was harder to use than Ethereum, and the most of the volume was on Ethereum, and like what Hash said, a lot of the people who are trading was on Ethereum, and that's why I moved over. And now gas is cheaper, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to move back to Poly or open up a Poly collection in the future. I mean, I'm optimistic for it. What's happening, a couple weeks ago with Reddit, or for the past couple of weeks, past months, it's pretty dope, So I think as we progress, we'll see what happens. Right now, I mean, ETH is, from a cryptocurrency standpoint, it's king right now. It is. I mean, like, you can't deny that, because just look at it. Most people invest in Ethereum. And we act, as I know, this community right here is Polygon, and we're in our echo chambers. And like I said, I'm not a Polygon hater. I love Poly. But there's definitely pros and cons. And if you're looking at it from someone who's new, I think it is something they look at, that's without a question.
I think as well, because, ETH is like mainstream, you know what I mean? So when someone's getting in, they already know or have heard about ETH, and then they hear this other chain. It's like an ETH alternative. They're like, okay, why not just ETH? So I completely agree with that. And I remember when I first started, I would have to talk with and through bridging with hundreds of people trying to buy an NFT. And I know that people just didn't want to deal with that. And I lost some sales and stuff like that. But I definitely believe that it's getting much easier, especially with the implementation of Matic and selling on OpenSea and stuff like that. But it is a little bit more of a learning curve. And I can see from just starting, and I want to buy an NFT. It's like I already have ETH in my wallet. Why would I even go to this other chain? I mean, especially since the whole merge shit with Ethereum and the gas prices being the lowest they've ever been. So it's tough, and it's it's a weird space, and there are people that are like only Poly. There are other people that are only Solana, only ETH, and stuff like that. And it's weird getting like someone to come over to a different collection, to a different blockchain when they kind of obviously don't have it all figured out, but feel like they have it all figured out, and they don't want to jump through any more hoops since they're already comfortable.
Taco, I have a great tweet coming out. I just wanted to let you know. They've released a little bit of the artwork for Art Gobblers, and one of the traits is a strap on. I'm not even fucking kidding. So the plot thickens. They had a 13-year-old, a grown man impersonating a 13-year-old boy, pumping a project that has a strap-on trait. Well, also he said, "Smell my goo."
The fucking I'm looking at the art right now, and I think because it's not like innovative fucking art, and this guy's got a fucking dick leg. First of all,
yeah, I just pinned it to the top, guys.
I think it's just the name, Justin Roiland. Everyone's like, "Yo, he created Rick and Morty. This is gonna be fucking worth a lot," even though like you can tell that he just fucking doodled this one night real quick and is trying to like make a bag. You know what I mean? So I think it's just the name behind it is what's pumping it. And like I said before, I feel like everybody who's buying right now at 15 ETH are going to be fucking holding their dicks, holding this image of a
no
guy
pun
with a
intended.
legit dick, holding an image of a fucking thing with a legit dick leg forever, and never being able to sell it for a fraction of what they bought it for in the last few days.
Yeah, I'm gonna be happy that they get rugged.
See, and the whole thing about the rugging is, have they promised anything? Because okay, what's your opinion on rugging? Because if I promise that I'm gonna create a 3D game, and if everybody buys, I'm gonna create this game, and then I stop doing the project before I create the game, that's a rug. But if you just say, here's some art, buy it, and the fucking thing goes to 15 ETH, and you didn't promise anything, and just stop working on it, is that a rug?
I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier about like so there's a lot of things that go into this, right? There's a lot of variables that go into the success of an NFT project off rip. So you have the fact that it is from a verified in the overarching media zeitgeist, like Justin Roiland working on, from Rick and Morty. You have Andrew Wang and all of these influencers pumping it and talking about it and acting like it's going to be the next big thing. And then you have, like you were talking about, a whitelist that kind of builds in that that exclusivity FOMO feeling from off rip. So you combine all of that together, and you're obviously promoting something that you are intending to make a lot of money on, because you see all of these things happening. You're like, okay, of course it's gonna pump. That's what they want you to think. Of course it's gonna pump, without actually saying it's gonna pump. They want you to think, of course it's gonna pump. Now, and I had this discussion with somebody on the timeline before, and this is an example from another Solana creator, and his name, I shit you not, was Rugger, Ruggir. He rugged 4 previous projects, and he was about to rug a 5th, but he let his entire community know that he was about to rug. So he said, hey, I'm about to rug. I'm about to, walk away from the project if you all want to sell. And honestly, like, as funny as that is, that's probably the best way to do it. To, like, if you delivered all of your promises, well, okay, first of all, in 2 separate scenarios, if you delivered all of your promises that you delivered in a project, all right, fine, you didn't rug. And if you are warning people of a rug or giving the community a chance to take it over, I would be hard pressed to call out a rug as well. But I mean, I think we're all familiar with, like, outside of that, what the fuck a rug is. You know what I'm saying? I think there is some nuance though to, like, certain situations where you can, like, you can call it a rug or not. Probably not, but I mean, most of the time, like, we all fucking know what a rug is, right?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So, like, I'm not gonna say the project, but there was a Polygon project that just and it's weird because this is my feeling that they just weren't getting enough sales, and they were like, oh, like, I have other stuff to do, I can't continue on the project, and they didn't finish what they were doing, and then they kind of just disappeared from the space. Like, no matter how much, like, that person, like, came out and was like, oh, like, this whole stuff, like, it just feels like a rug. Like, you started this thing, you're feeling you're not getting enough, like, recognition or sales or something like that, so you just move on. Like, you promised all this shit, deliver on this shit, or else you're rugging. You know, it's a weird situation that some people try to come out and say that it's like it's too hard for them, it's too much work, and it's like, well, if that's true and you can't, like, physically can't or don't want to, like, give it to somebody who will continue with the original vision of the project. You know, don't just hold it hostage, and now everybody that bought in, whether it was $1 or $100 or $1,000, is just holding the bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we've seen that before. We've seen a lot of projects been taken over by the community, like all the projects that Zagabond rugged. You know, they were taken over not directly through Zagabond, but just by the community. The Fame ladies, you know, that were outed as 3 Russian dudes. You know, women came in and took over that project. Even the UTI club that we were talking about earlier that rugged, the community took that project over too. So there are a lot of examples of communities sort of trying to revive a rug situation for the sake of the community. You know, which doesn't.
Well, I respect the shit out of those people because,
right.
You know, those people actually believe in the project, because otherwise, you know,
exactly,
this shit all happened, and everyone's got a bad taste in their mouth about that project. You know what I mean? So it's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of positive changes and utility and innovation from that project to, like, come back into, let's say, like, the limelight of positivity and actually being a good project, because they're going to have a bad stigma on them for a very, very long time, despite who takes over the project, because the original creator just fucking bounced. You got something, Jake?
Yeah, you know, I look at the NFT space and rugging, and I think some of this is like it's because it's so new still. Like, I think as time goes on, you're going to see, like, these buckets build where you're going to have the projects you're talking about here that get rugged, and we'll stop seeing so many rugs because they're going to build expectations into that. I don't think for very much longer you're going to be able to say, here's a bunch of JPEGs and they supposedly do all these things and then not do that. I think that's going to become like a category that's going to have legality attached to it. Because the truth is like a lot of these things are sold out as projects, but the real truth of it is it's really just an artist and then some people trying to hype the art in different ways.
And I completely agree with that as well, because when the place first started, everybody and their mother saw all the money and they're like, I can fucking draw. And then everybody saw what other people were promising, and I can say that I probably did a similar thing, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna have staking, we're gonna have, you know, like a token and all this stuff, and most of the projects are just saying that, don't know how to go about it, and then end up just not doing it, especially if they made a bag, and especially if they're not doxxed. They'll just make the bag because they said a bunch of shit, and then they'll fucking bounce. You know what I mean? Thankfully, with this project, like, I have done most of the things that I've promised. I still am trying to do a lot of stuff and I'm not stopping anytime soon. It's just a big learning curve. I like I said, I probably did some things that I promised, and I was like, okay, now that I promised this, how the fuck am I gonna do this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with the staking took a long time because I promised it, I saw it, I wanted it, but I had no fucking idea how to go about it. You know what I mean? Thankfully, like people like me push and want to learn and implement those things instead of just like promising it, making a bag, and then fucking bouncing.
Yeah, I mean, a big part of it too is like I think it's how you perceive the space in a lot of different ways. Because like the biggest thing I think of is like when I look at NFTs, I see two buckets. I see like, for instance, something like MetaVixens where there are perks and things, but I'm really buying it for the art. I just like the art. I like the artist. I like the people that have bought the art. And then there are the other side of projects, which to me, I call them games. You call them whatever you want to call them, but the bottom line is you're buying this thing, you can trade them, stack them, earn things from them, you're showing them off, breaking them to your friends, trading them with your friends. The bottom line is you're in a system where you're with like-minded people that have spent money like you have and want to interact with the things that you care about. And eventually, any of those scenarios, are any of you guys gamers? Like, eventually you replace that with something else. And so a lot of NFT projects, I just look as the latest AAA game. I'm going to spend a bunch of money on it, spend an infinite number of hours on it. And 4 years from now, probably don't give a rip about it unless it's one of the all-time amazing things that we come back to or have like nostalgia for. So like, I just don't, this whole idea that all these people are making all these things and they're just going to be tied to this for the rest of their lives is just absurd. Like, most of these things are going to die eventually, not because they're rugs, because they're not going to be a business for the next 40 years. They're just not. Like, maybe Bored Apes or some of the giant ones do that, but 99%, I don't see them lasting even 4 or 5 years. They're not going to hang around that long unless they're making tons of money.
Agree.
You know, and how are they going to do that? So I just look at it as like the natural like trajectory of most collections is a rug by the standard definition of it, because eventually the creator's either going to just decide he wants to do something else with his life or do a different project with his life. Like, he's just not going to, like, is Taco going to do Taco for the rest of eternity? Like, I doubt it. Like, if he does, amazing, but I don't see it that way. I don't expect that. I would not be like, in 10 years from now, I'd be like, what?
I completely agree. Most people, unless they make a living off their NFT project and turn it into like a brand, most of them are gonna fizzle out. So before Hash, I know you got your hand up. Hash is gonna be leaving soon. I know he is invited to another space as well. I believe he's also in that space going to be talking about the whole situation with Farokh and art Gobblers and stuff. I know I'm going to be jumping in there to listen as well. But I know that he's got to be going soon. So what's up, Hash?
No, listen, I fucking appreciate you, dude. I just wanted to, I was just going to say, you know, I got to hop out soon, but I wanted to just, I mean, Jake, I completely fucking agree with you. I think a lot of people see NFTs as like a quick cash grab kind of thing. And, you know, that's why a lot of people entered the space last year, I think, under the guise of like, it's very easy to make money out here. And I fucking completely agree. So me, I mean, and I'm not gonna sit out here and be like, oh, fucking blah blah blah, whatever. But I registered this as an LLC last year. I've put a lot of money into it that I've made from NFTs, sort of putting it back in. This is something that I consider my personal brand that I'll be building for the next 10 years. I think I came into NFTs with the idea that it would be a great vehicle to be a content creator, which is something I've always kind of wanted to try. Doing it in a new way was exciting to me. And now I'm fucking obsessed. This is my life all day. So I think there are people out here outside of the big guys that are going to be around in 5 to 10 years. That might just be me being idealistic with it. And I hope the people I think that will be here in 5 years will be here still. But, I plan on being here. And I do still have a full-time job. But I'm, my hope is that I can build this to a place where it can support me, you know, on its own. And if it never gets to that place, it's fine. You know, I can do both full time, and you know, I've done it for a year and a half, and I've been able to, you know, keep up with it. And you know, it's just me out here. But you know, hopefully as I grow, I can build a team out that'll help me keep the longevity going. But you know, I think there are people out here genuinely building, which are the people I try to promote as much as I try to tear down the fucking influencers we've been talking about this whole time. But listen, I fucking love all of you. Taco, seriously, thank you for inviting me out here. It's been a great conversation. I hope I didn't, you know, jack all the time or anything, but you're all great. Super intelligent conversation from all the speakers. So, you know, just thank you for listening. Thank you for being out here. Thank you for inviting me. I
really appreciate you coming in. Whose space are you going to be jumping in? I'm sure we could just go to your profile and see that you'll be in a space. It was around 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah. So I've got mine at in about an hour that I have every, you know, we have spaces every Monday, Tuesday, usually in the mornings. This week we needed to do them at night. So I'll be there from 7 to 8:30, and then NFT Firm, I think his Twitter name is Still Get Rich. He's having a space at 8:30 that he wanted me to go on and talk about stuff. So I'll be there too. Kind of a marathon run today.
Well, I mean, a lot of shit happened, and I'm sure a lot of people want to talk to you. So I really fucking appreciate you jumping in here and giving us the scoop. It means a lot, and I'll definitely be jumping in your space later.
Nah, totally, man. Listen, I always got time for Taco and this whole crowd. I fucking love you all, and again, really appreciate you, and thank you for inviting me. Peace out, everybody.
Thank you so much, man.
Going.
And everybody, before he leaves, just go drop him a follow. Like I said, he's got a newsletter at the top of his profile. He does a lot of he's one of the only people that are calling out these giant influencers and actually making a mark. So definitely drop him a follow and check him out.
Nah, you're too fucking kind, bro. Too fucking kind. Listen, for real, appreciate you. I'll always, again, always got time if you ever, you know, want to hear from me again. So appreciate you. All right, peace out, everybody. We'll talk soon. See you on the timeline.
Peace, man. Thank you. All right, that was awesome. Jake, I really appreciate you.
I'm really happy that he came. I've never seen him before, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
He's great. I've been following him for a long time. He does some good shit on there, and he memes a fuck ton. If you guys see his art as well, like his art looks like he just did it on paint, and people love it, and it's really funny because he just memes the whole fucking space. It's great stuff. What's up, Nico?
Yeah, checking him out. Yeah, he's an awesome dude.
Yeah, Berlin, you liked him?
You jealous, Nico?
No, just I'm just asking because next time maybe we ask him about puns.
About who?
Well, I'm gonna have to bring my plague with me if we're gonna go that route.
Wait, ask him about who?
Bonds, the founder of the plague.
Oh, why? Wait, why? What's that?
I don't know, but to talk shit.
Maybe he knows something. Maybe he's seen some shit.
I don't know. There's not much on pawns. But yeah, going back to one of the points about like the projects over promising and not delivering. I'm not going to name names, but I recently left a community because they were saying some shit that I was like, you guys, this is not legal because you're not doing it the right way, and you don't even know what you're doing. And basically, I was running the whole project on the community side on my own, and they weren't doing their due diligence to actually set up. Other than just like saying what they were going to do it, but I was like, but do you actually know how you're going to do it? And basically, I see this with a lot of projects. I'd rather just not say that we're going to do something, and then you don't let anyone down. You don't fuck people over, rather than like over promising and then taking everyone's money. But that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, and I think the whole thing is people want to promise stuff to get the sales, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like it's good. Some things are a good idea in the long run, but some things are also more difficult.
Well, some things I think are a good idea.
Stepping in and
if it's like an original idea, if you're actually planning on implementing it, if you have the means to do so, but just promising shit, getting a lot of sales, especially it's so much harder to trust people saying shit if they're not doxxed. You know, they're just random fucking people, and you can't really hold anybody specifically accountable. Like just you just know of a fucking Twitter account. You know what I mean? So it's really hard because people are trying to fucking make a bag, and people are just trying to promise the whole world and hopefully deliver. And most of the time, it seems like they just quit before they're supposed to do any of that shit, which is, I feel like a lot of the projects that I've known over the last like year or so have done.
But I almost feel like it's better to quit before you go and fuck a bunch of people over.
Yeah, but so like if you,
what's the alternative? Like,
so like let's say like Kush Cats, if you guys know Kush Cats, and I know Nico does. They their whole thing was basically the artists, even before they dropped, basically quit. They never launched. They promised a bunch of shit. So they did a lot of giveaways, and they're like, okay, when it drops, you'll get this fucking free NFT, you'll get this skateboard and stuff. And they never delivered on any of it. But at the same time, they didn't have people mint. So it is a rug, but at the same time, he didn't like steal a fuck ton of money from the community and then rug. You know what I mean? He kind of just went away. So I would rather have that happen. Like, yeah, you're promised an NFT and you didn't get it. Like, that sucks ass, but at least you didn't spend $100 and now the project's just fucking dead in the water, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of what like the problem rugging is like sometimes, you know, some projects just fail, right? Like you just can't help that. But the blatant fraud, right? The people that have come in and literally just raise a whole bunch of money promising stuff and then dip out the next day. That's just simple fraud, you know, and that's, I think, a lot what the SEC is trying to go after right now. But like, you know, there's a lot of projects. Like my project's a small project, right? I don't make any money from it whatsoever. I barely sell any of them. And one, I'm not promising anything, but if one day all of a sudden, like my time gets taken away and I have to go do something else, you know, and the project fails, there's not much you can do about that. You know, it's like if a founder tries really hard and works really hard and tries to do what they can without promising the world and only promising art, then that's not technically fraud, you know.
Well,
so
that's what I was saying. That's not really a rug. If you have a project that's just a fucking rock with sunglasses and you're just promising if you buy this shit, you're going to get a fucking image of a rock with sunglasses, and then that you didn't promise anything else, and then one day you're like, oh yeah, I guess I don't have time for this anymore. That's not really a rug, because you did everything. You gave everybody who gave you money an image of a fucking rock. You know what I mean? And it's like a misconception because the space still feels like it's a rug even when it's not. You gave them everything that you promised. And I've seen so many projects out here. They're like, this is just the art. No roadmap, no nothing and stuff like that. And like, if those, you know, it would suck, but if those projects just went away and you're just holding this image, that's all that you were promised. So it's not really a rug. It sucks, but you didn't get scammed. You knew what you were buying. Like, if you thought that you were getting a fucking picture of a rock and then they were going to build some more shit and never said anything about it, you were just hoping, that's not you getting scammed. That's not you getting rugged.
That's just you not doing research.
That's just you not doing research or hoping for
I don't know.
more than what was
I
promised.
buy some NFTs just for the art because I'm like, I don't expect anything from it. I probably don't even follow the projects. I'm just like, this is cool. And then
Exactly. I have so many NFTs from projects that, like, I've bought NFTs from projects that were already dead, but I just liked the art. Like, there's I forgot, there's something cats. It's like a fucking cat one, but the project had been dead. It wasn't fucking no sales in months, and I was like, I like this. It's like a few bucks. Fuck it, I'm gonna buy it. I know nothing's gonna come of it. They're not active, nothing. But I bought it because I like the art. You know what I mean? And I have no expectations, especially even with like all the ones that I buy now. I do it because I support the people. I have really no expectations. If they come out with something, yeah, I'll look into it, and that's awesome. But I bought this for the art. I bought this because I want to support the person. I want to give the person a couple bucks to keep going and maybe trying to do what they're trying to do. And I think most people are just, there's a big thing out here where people are just trying to do it for the bag and stuff. Nico?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you're not gonna make it, motherfucker.
Okay, listen. I'm gonna make it, okay? Because I'm gonna keep trying. And if I don't make it, at least I can say I fucking tried my hardest. You know what I mean?
You're already fucking killing it and got like cute little tacos, so
yeah, I mean, I got a couple more things I need to implement, and then I can fucking bounce to people not call me a rug. But for now, you know, I gotta keep up appearances. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Jake?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with all of that. I think another thing that's like kind of weird and annoying is the whole thing of how we got to this, like, NFTs are now only like these large project roadmap Wall Street flipper bullshit. Like, what happened to selling fucking art? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
well, when Cash was talking about zero fucking royalties, like,
yeah,
from a
fuck
project,
that.
that doesn't make any fucking sense to me, because
No,
my understanding when I first got into the space was that it's for the artist.
Yes.
So if you fucking so like if I sell you a painting for $100 fucking in the real world, and then you flip it around for $1,000, I made $100, you made fucking $900. But the NFT space changes all of that, because now if you sell it for $1,000, I make a percentage of that for the rest of its life. If it goes on to sell for a fucking $1 million, the artist is still getting paid. So the zero royalty thing makes no fucking sense to me whatsoever. And like he was saying, it's the projects like the DGOD people that have already sold out, have already made millions on the secondary market from royalties, and now they're trying to play fucking like devil's advocate and be like, oh, you don't need these. Like this, like people are getting greedy. It's like, motherfucker, you're greedy. You did it. Your sales are dipping or some shit, and now you're trying to push this shit on everybody so that the artist can't make not a livable wage, but like make a couple bucks on something they sold fucking 10 months ago.
Yeah, this whole space was built on the idea of leveling the playing field for artists. And like you just said, we're watching the literal opposite of that happen. They're pulling out royalties. And the whole reason behind that isn't just so that they can fuck the artist and make this all about flipping, but it's the very essence of flipping. Like in my opinion and in my estimation, the removing of the royalty is so that the hardcore trader can now make a big profit line on flipping.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to give up a penny of their fucking their profit.
Because if you've got bots in place and you're hauling through hundreds of Ethereum NFTs and you got to pay that tiny little fee every fucking time, that's a lot of money after you day traded. Like, and you start extrapolating that out. I can promise you that's the only reason that happened, is because a bunch of fat fucks who want to get really rich couldn't quite get rich fast enough because of fucking royalty fees. So they're like, fuck that. We're getting rid of that so we can make more money. No one should have defended that. I will literally tell anyone defending that to fuck all the way off. I will never buy from those people. I will block them. If you hear anyone talking about anti-royalty shit, you need to tell them to fuck all the way off, because I only came here for artists and I am gone if it becomes an anti-artist place.
It just
you
doesn't
can book
make
it.
any sense. Like that's like the main aspect of what NFTs really are. Like you own a digital piece and the artist continuously gets paid, instead of you know, Michelangelo selling a painting when he was alive for $30 fucking and now it's worth like 30 million, and his family doesn't see a fucking penny of that.
Yeah, it's just so messed up. Like it's funny to me how much it's manipulated at this point. Because basically what we're doing right now is the space is basically saying, this is the next stock market, guys. This is the next stock market. And it's not going to be. Fat old white men are not going to trade monkeys in fucking JPEG format. Like, people need to understand that.
Did you see Anthony Hopkins' Twitter?
Oh God, yeah. This is
Somebody
fucking...
taking over Anthony Hopkins' Twitter, talking about fucking NFTs and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
it's retarded. It's so stupid. It's so fucking dumb. Like, dude, no one can. I don't give a fuck what Anthony Hopkins is doing. He's not an artist. He's a motherfucking actor. And I'll go watch fucking Cannibal if I want to see him. I don't give a shit.
Hey,
about his
I like Anthony Hopkins. Leave the guy alone. He's a good guy.
I like him. Yeah.
It's like it's like people using the names. Like, they're trying to use people's names because they know, like, fucking Stan Lee. The whole fucking Stan Lee NFT collection, that the dude's fucking dead. They revived his fucking Twitter to promote a fucking NFT thing that he probably would have been like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
It's really fucking dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I just believe this is it's like everything else. Everyone got stupid rich off Ethereum in the past few years. Everyone forgets this. Like, Ethereum was not always fucking where it was. Like, just 2 years ago, it wasn't even $1,000, like, or whatever that was. When I was jumping into crypto, I could buy Ethereum for a couple $100, and then it fucking fat ballooned to $4,000. You don't think a bunch of dumb fucks didn't get so dumb rich? They're just trying to balloon their shit. Like, that's what nobody gets. Half of the NFT Ethereum entire experience is a stupid rich Ethereum guy getting richer. That's what the vehicle is. Like, you are not going to go over there with your fucking 0.01 Ethereum and do anything. Like, you are just a nothing burger to them. You're not even on the radar. And it just, like, blows my mind that it's become all about that. It's all about, how do I get an Ethereum NFT and flip the hell out of it? Like, I didn't come here for that. And I'm never going to be here for that.
Yeah.
And I'm really bored of that narrative entirely. Like, dude, if I want to trade stocks and crypto, I'll go do that. That's not what I'm here to do.
Yeah, and the whole elitist, like, main influencer people thing are just shilling the same shit over and over, and it's just because they paid the bag, they know how to do it, and then now they have the money to do all that shit. Like,
not to mention, like, an artist community is, like, basically the opposite of the premise of an influencer. Like, I am not here to like, mass gain your following. I'm not here to, like, get myself mainstream. I'm an artist trying to make money. I want you to buy my art because you like it, not because you think some dumb rich fuck likes it. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, that doesn't mean anything to me. I don't give it. These dumbasses don't even know what they're buying. I've watched so many influencers buy literally just ripped off artwork from DeviantArt and other places. Like, it is that not all these guys you think are amazing. They're just blowing their loads on Ethereum collections. Half these collections are flat out stolen shit. It's just a matter of time for, like, half the Ethereum, like, NFT network to just collapse because the fucking copyright bros are going to come in and blow it all to shit. Like, you book it now. I'm telling you, it will not be long before some major thing that's been just beat to death by all the influencers turns out to be an entire, like, thing from the DeviantArt project from 15 plus years ago. And the entire thing is just totally a scam in every sense of the word.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is that people need, the SEC needs to start cracking down. People need to realize, like, that the shit they're doing is illegal, which they fucking know it is, but there's no regulation right now, and they're not getting fucking in trouble for it. And I'm sure that governments and agencies and shit, they're not going to just come in and be like, hey, they're going to build a case, and a bunch of people are going to go down at the fucking same time.
Yep. You know who's not going to go down? OpenSea. You know who is going to, like, we were talking about that earlier. I can't remember who that was. It was chatting about, like, OpenSea playing dirty games. Dude, OpenSea is a mega billion-dollar corporation. They'll cut a deal and be fine. You know who's going to get fucked? Every bro who pretended to be dumb about copyright and scamming and everything. The law is going to come for you all. And they got all the receipts and all the data. Like, it's literally just a time game. Like, I'm pretty convinced that within the next 5 years, you're going to hear, like, this just laundry list of mofos go down. Like, big names. Like, going to jail for many, many, many years because they thought they were fucking smarter than the fucking government, the systems, and everything in place. And Coinbase is going to be like, what? You know, we did our bullshit behind the scenes. You're the one out here peddling stolen art. Coinbase isn't going to go down. OpenSea isn't going to go down. The fucking dumb fucks influencers are going to go down.
Yeah,
they can't handle
they got the lawyers. They got the money to be like, okay, we're here. Take this and leave us alone now.
They're able to settle.
Yeah,
you can't
exactly.
As an individual. You have to go through the process, and you're going to lose.
Yeah, 100%. Solo, you got something?
Yeah, you mentioned, like, I think someone mentioned 101 Arts. I just want to say, like, in this whole NFT space, there's whole, like, circles of people and one-of-one artists that play the game completely different than like the influence and stuff. And like there is a lot of like one people teams that are just one-on-one artists out there selling like quality art. And I think NFTs, not necessarily crypto as a whole, but NFT, that's the direction I think it's going to end up going whenever you get the SEC involved and that everything's, all these PFPs are considered securities and people can't scam anymore. It's the one-of-one artists that are selling like just art, and that's it, that are really going to shine.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I
couldn't agree more.
I had no. What were you saying, Jake? Okay, yeah. So I had looked up, just from my understanding of officially what a security is, and there's 4 points to it, which it just makes NFTs securities. It's like there's an investment of money. Okay, you buy the money, you buy the fucking art. Investment is made into a common enterprise. I don't know what the fuck that means. Someone could explain that to me because I'm fucking dumb as shit. The investors expect to make a profit. That's almost everybody in the NFT space. And any expected profits or returns are due to the actions of a third party or promoter. So the people that it's like up to you to make the profit. Like that's basically what an NFT is. It's a security, and they just haven't really implemented the whole or adding NFTs to the fucking list. You know what I mean? But it's coming. That's what they are.
But that's also what I'm not totally convinced of, and only because of what we were just discussing with the one-of-one logic. That's why I think like you're going to see buckets created. I think 5 years from now, the concept of a Bored Ape Yacht Club, that specific kind of a collection, is going to have to pass all kinds of regulation to move forward. Where
you mean like a generative art collection with the hundreds, thousands of
anything that
things
promises
instead of the
more than
one-of-ones
art
that are individually made.
Yeah, anything that's saying like, oh, this is like that the premise is trading, that the premise is what else you get with it. The premise is I'm buying this and that's access to this and to these perks and these, like, that's what's going to get heavily regulated. The idea that you are selling this like essentially a business event or more or less is what like these collections are. Like you're buying into a set of ideas, expectations, goals, benchmarks that have to happen. But my random bullshit art that I make and want to mint as one-of-one fine art should not have to regulate any of that, because it's no different than me selling it at an art show. You don't expect to sell that for a profit. You don't expect to trade that for something. You bought art. It's art. Like, we need to get back to that. And I do not want to hear that the entire NFT space is going to operate like a fucking stock. That's bullshit. Like, that's as much bullshit as everything else to me. Like, I don't think all of it should work that way. And if it does, to me, it's completely failed as to why it ever existed to begin with.
I completely agree with that. I completely agree. I
think it's too far gone though that it's not going to ever be that way again. Like, people are too invested in trading and flipping.
Well, I think if they come out with something where they say, you know, X and X and X, you can't do this, a lot of people will just leave. And then it'll be kind of like starting over, building over with what Jake said, like people just about the art and stuff. Or there could be, you know, like you said, two buckets, like people who make collections just to sell out and have them resold and all this shit. And then there was some people that just want to sell their fucking art. So it's just going to be weird. I mean, we're in the first like 2-3 years of actual, like, not even mainstream NFTs. And it's ever changing. You know, you spend a week away and a whole fucking thing goes down. So it's definitely going to be a lot different in a year, 2 years, 3 years than what it is right now. It's going to be very different.
Sorry, you don't always have to think of NFT as just art too, because there's a lot of like in real life user cases that are starting to be implemented. For instance, I held an event for like fashion and branding, and so you can some companies are using NFTs to verify that this is actually not a knockoff. This is like, say, this is a real Louis Vuitton, and there's no way like it's associated with an NFT. And like this is how other brands, say like sports clubs, if you buy this jersey from the club, then you get these benefits from the club. So there's like different user cases. This is just one that I'm thinking of because I held the space last week with this. But...
and I mean like event tickets too. You know, like
yes, exactly.
Like Gary V's, you buy his fucking little doodle, fucking 2-year-old art thing, 2-year-old doodle, and you get access to his thing. Like, and then you sell it. That person gets access. You have no access anymore. There are real use cases like buying a concert ticket that's an NFT, and then you get to go to every single concert, you know, things like that. And there's a thing that people are developing that I've heard Mild talks about soul-bound NFTs. It's an NFT that can never be traded. And people are saying use cases for that. Your social security number, your ID, like information that is your information that is to you. So it would never be traded. And it's a way to like verify who you are. And, you know, horrible things. You could maybe lose your fucking key, and then I don't know what the fuck that would happen with that. But
you just lose your identity,
and then you just lose your shit, or someone hacks your thing, and then they're you. You know, there's a bunch of different things, and they're still all being developed. But the biggest space that happened right now is the art scene, and it's fucked up. It's fucked up right now, and a lot of bad eggs are here just to try to take advantage of the smaller people. Rich get richer, and that's kind of how the space is right now. And I don't believe it's going to be like that forever, but I can't deny that that's basically what it is right now. And you know, there's a lot of really good people in the space that are like-minded and just want to sell art, just want to build a community and want to, you know, create something. And I'm sure we'll be seeing more of those people. And I think I keep harking back to, like, you know, once there's regulation, once the SEC jumps in, and once people realize that they're going to fucking get in trouble, they're going to pay fines, they're going to go to fucking jail for shit that they're doing today that in a year is going to be fucking illegal, and they're going to have a laundry list of fucking shit to answer to. And a lot of people are going to get scared and probably fucking leave the space with the fucking millions of fucking dollars they fucking made so far. And it's going to be like, we built this whole community up, and it's fucking shitty right now, and it's going to crash. And all the bad eggs are going to fucking bounce, and there'll still be bad eggs, obviously, but then we'll have to build it back up. It's the Wild West right now, and it has been, and it still will be for probably many years, but it just takes time. And people are seeing that, like, you know, they did the whole insider trading thing with that fucking dude from OpenSea. You know, that was like the first of many to happen. They will be happening. I'm sure they already got their eyes on a bunch of fucking people, and the government doesn't just jump in. They let you make a fuck ton of mistakes so that they got you fucking by the balls. And I'm sure that's exactly what's happening right now. And eventually, all those people are going to go down, and all their fucking millions that they made are going to be taken. And yeah,
like in a sense, like there is benefits to having obviously the government kind of looking out, but with the bear market, I think that's one thing too, is we were saying in the beginning, is that like we're actually fucking doing our own diligence, and we're banding together to get the fucking scammers out there and calling them out and being like, fuck you, no, like we're not going to take this, we see you, like you're on a list, like we're blackballing you because you just fucked all us like hardworking artists over who are actually trying to build something, and they're just trying to scam people and use their fucking elite little club to scam people out of their money.
Yeah, there's a Twitter profile called Confessions, if anybody has followed that or whatever, and it's just people anonymously submitting shit, and then this Twitter account anonymously tweets it out, and a lot of them are like, I've rugged 100 projects, and I'm about to rug my fucking 101st project, like I've made millions and shit like that. And like, people think they're safe behind anonymity, but like your wallet can be fucking tracked. Everything is on the blockchain, and you fucked up somewhere where you connected your cell phone, and your cell phone's connected to your fucking name, and they're gonna get you. Like they're like the government's not fucking stupid. You know what I mean? You made a mistake, and they're gonna get you, and you feel safe in your little bubble right now because you're hidden behind a string of fucking random numbers and letters, but they fucking know. You know what I mean? It's they've even said it's way easier to track like crypto accounts than it is to track like random bank accounts in fucking different countries and stuff, because it's everywhere. The same ledger is everywhere all over the world. Every single transaction is everywhere. It's not like a different country and there's different regulations where they can't access the information. Like it's everything is out there. Jake?
Yeah, and they don't need warrants either. Like to get like a Swiss bank account, they have to like get a warrant and like get the Swiss government to cooperate. Where with the whatever, in the ledger they don't have to do that. So we already know that the SEC can track people's wallets. They've done it with Do Kwon, and followed all his money. And they've done it with other people, and we know that they now have task force that are looking into it. So they're already here.
It gets even better too, because
they're building a case right now.
There's an added chunk to that, because not only is it all public, but then if you guys have been paying attention, a lot of the social media sites have decided that they want to connect your NFTs. So like right now, you can connect your wallet to essentially Facebook/Instagram. Well, guess what you just did? They already got all the transactions, and now they've attached your full fucking name and identity. So now all the fucking confusion and fact-finding is right there in front of your fucking face.
That's what I'm saying. People are doing
there's going to be a bunch of people. I'm telling you, man, it's only a few years away, because they're probably going to let them all drown themselves first. And you're just going to hear, like, the SEC versus 10,000 different individuals, and it's just going to be every influencer you ever fucking saw. And they're just going to wipe the fucking floor with these people, because it's going to be so stupid easy to do. They're not even going to need to go to court. They're just going to say, here you did it. Here's the data. Go to jail. Like, it's going to be the biggest fallout you've ever heard of, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's just a matter of time. They're building a case right now. They know who you are. It's so hard to like especially like the biggest thing I'll say is like Tornado Cash. You know what I mean? That like who the fuck? Why would you need to use Tornado Cash if you're not money laundering? If you're not trying to hide your identity? Like, what is I personally don't get the point of that unless you're doing something nefarious. Like you're trying to mix funds into a wallet that's connected to your name, but you are trying your fucking hardest to not have that happen. But it's like, yeah, like we don't know exactly what your wallet is, but you have to connect a wallet that is connected to your name to withdraw. So, and eventually that money is going to go into a wallet that has your information on it. So like all the people using Tornado Cash have a trail back to them. Like, where are you going to sell it? You need KYC on most of the fucking things. And then what are you going to do? Transfer it to your bank account with your fucking name on it. You know what I mean? So it's going to happen. I'm sure there's a lot going on right now with the whole regulation shit, but it's only a few years away, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of people fucking go down.
Yeah. The funny thing about Tornado Cash too is because that one guy got arrested, but like the SEC and other governments like warn them. They're like, look, we know that hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars are being laundered from North Korea, Russia, and all over the world through your app. So you need to take these certain steps to fix it, or to like come into compliance with money lending type stuff. And then they didn't do it. They continued to keep doing it. So it's like, it's not like the government is out here like trying to fuck them. They like stepped up and was like, hey, just so you know, and like gave them plenty of warnings and a path out of it. And then they just didn't do it. It's very weird.
Jake?
Yeah, the tornado cash thing is a really interesting component of all of this because I totally agree with you, but at the same time, there's also some like legality around that that's an issue, especially like in America, because code. God, I was reading this the other day. Code is considered. What was the argument? It's something about like how that's connected to speech or the way we like write that into laws. Where like it's actually. God damn it! Now I can't fucking remember what I was reading.
Like,
my bad, guys. I've lost my train of thought.
Like protected by free speech or something?
Yeah, there's something about it that like some legal expert was like, it's not going to be that cut and dry because of the code. Like it seems like, oh yeah, tornado cash just fucked up. Like, but it's
like it's like Twitter and Facebook aren't liable for what their posters use that for. So like Facebook's not liable for inciting a civil war in a third world country because they just wrote the code.
Yeah.
But if Tornado Cash set up the code, right, and then knew what it was being used for and didn't take steps to stop it, then they're compliant in it. They're an accessory to the money laundering.
I'm not saying they're not like in the wrong. I'm just saying that the entire situation is legally more complicated because there's code involved. It's not as simple as just saying, you know.
Yeah, they can always deny that they, you know, obviously, I don't know what the fucking purpose for Tornado Cash is, but like they can always deny, like, we didn't make it for that. Like, that is not our fault that these fucking people are using it for that reason. We have positive reasons for it.
Yeah, I mean, the Tornado Cash argument is that it's for privacy, right? We have a right to privacy. So we have a right for people not to know how much is in our bags, right? And that's the argument for it. But people were stealing it because, like, it's not like this is just like even just random people like laundering money from it, from like how they do it through banks and stuff. It's actually bad for the community because a lot of these hacks were from bridges and other financial instruments within the crypto community. So like say North Korea hacks a bridge, steals $400 million, and then they run it through Tornado Cash to come out the other end, and it winds up in an American bank or a Caribbean bank or something like that, you know. But if Tornado Cash knows that this is happening and is given a way out to like fix the problem and they don't do it, then are they liable? Is it still about privacy at that point, you know?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's still the Wild West, and they obviously I don't know how they would go about implementing that, because obviously it would just have to be like a little bit of research would have to be done. So like if a wallet steals 400 ETH, and they would have to like blacklist that wallet or something. I feel like that's one of the only things that they would be able to do. They wouldn't be able just to like look for a wallet with 400 ETH depositing into their platform. It's weird. Let's see. It's 6:30. I'm gonna eat, so I'm gonna be closing down the space. This was one of the best spaces I think that we've had because I did a little bit of a research and stuff. So I'm definitely going to be we're doing this every Tuesday, and I'm definitely going to be doing a little bit more research on some different topics as well. It was awesome that HashBastards came. If you guys didn't follow him, definitely go check him out. Gave us a lot of insight on like some bullshit that's happening, and I appreciate him coming. I appreciate all you guys coming, and I hope you have a great Taco Tuesday. And anybody want to say anything before we leave?
I do.
Do it.
Fuck sour cream, pro guac.
This man.
Yes, pro guac, fuck sour cream.
This man, fuck sour cream, dude.
Team sour cream.
Fuck you.
Bye, IROX.
And Jake, I'm gonna be putting that what is it, Azuki, into the collection.
Oh my god, Asuka.
Yeah, my girlfriend hates me because I say it wrong. But I'm gonna be putting that in shortly. And congrats on getting those the Halloween tacos. And I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out. Hopefully you guys learned something. And hopefully we can do this again next week. Oh, we will be doing it again next week. But hopefully I'll see you guys again next week. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day. And get something to eat, get something to drink. We've been in here for a while. So go take care of yourselves. And Berlin, I hope you're feeling better. I know you've been super sick lately. Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, good. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you guys for coming. I'll see you guys later.
Thank you. See ya.